My girlfriend said, "Your best friend is more fun." I replied, "Have fun without me." Then I cut them both off, upgraded my life, disappeared, and I smiled when they blamed each other after it failed. Hey Reddit, you know what? Kyle makes me laugh more than you do lately. I stopped mid-bite, my fork hovering over the pasta I'd spent an hour making. My girlfriend of 3 years just said that. About my best friend. At my own dinner table. What did you just say? I asked, carefully setting down my fork. I'm just being honest, she said, shrugging like she'd commented on the weather. You've been so serious lately. Kyle gets it. He knows how to have fun. The words hung in the air between us like smoke from a fire I didn't know was burning. My chest tightened, but I kept my face neutral. I'm 24, been with this woman since college, and my best friend Kyle has been around almost as long. The three of us were inseparable. Have fun without me then, I said quietly. Her eyes went wide. What? You heard me. I stood up, grabbed my plate, and walked to the kitchen. My hands were steady, but inside, something had just snapped into place. A decision that felt like ice water and clarity. Babe, I didn't mean it like that. Don't be so sensitive. I dumped my food in the trash. 3 years. 3 years of building a life with someone, and she just casually told me my best friend was better company. The thing is, it wasn't the first comment. It was just the first one she'd said out loud. For context, my girlfriend, let's call her what she was, my ex from that moment forward, had always been the social butterfly type. Energetic, outgoing, the life of every party. I'm more reserved. I like deep conversations, quiet nights, working on my projects. I'm a software developer, and I'd been putting in extra hours building my own app on the side. Something that could actually go somewhere. Kyle was my college roommate turned lifelong friend. Gym buddy, gaming partner, the guy I called when life got heavy. He was charismatic, funny, always had a story. And lately, he'd been coming around more. Way more. Movie nights became a weekly thing. She'd text him memes. They had inside jokes I wasn't part of. I'd noticed, but I trusted them. Both of them. Stupid. That night, after she left in a huff about me overreacting, I sat in my apartment alone. Really alone. Not the comfortable alone I usually enjoyed. The kind that makes you question everything. I opened my phone. Scrolled through our group chat. The messages told a story I'd been too blind to see. Late night conversations between them after I'd gone to bed. Plans made without me. Don't tell him yet. It'll be a surprise. A surprise for what? A birthday that was 6 months away. I wasn't an idiot. I was just hopeful. There's a difference. I took screenshots. Not because I planned to confront them, but because I needed proof for myself that I wasn't crazy. That what I was feeling had basis in reality. Then I did something I'd never done before. I checked her location history. We shared it for safety. She insisted on it months ago. Funny how that works. The app showed me she'd been at Kyle's apartment. Multiple times. Including nights she told me she was at her sister's place. My sister lives in Oregon. Kyle lives 15 minutes away. The evidence was circumstantial, sure. But circumstantial evidence becomes a pattern when you stop lying to yourself. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I made a list. Not a revenge list, something better. A life upgrade list. 1. Cut contact completely. 2. Focus on the app. 3. Join that boxing gym I'd been researching. 4. Reconnect with friends I'd neglected. 5. Become unrecognizable. Point 5 might sound dramatic, but I meant it. Not physically unrecognizable, emotionally, mentally, financially unrecognizable. The version of me that would accept your friend is more fun needed to die. A better version needed to rise. Morning came. She texted, "Can we talk? I'm sorry about last night." I replied, "There's nothing to talk about. We're done." "Are you serious right now?" "Completely." Over one comment. "You're being ridiculous." I didn't respond. Instead, I blocked her number. Then I opened my messages with Kyle. Me. "We're not friends anymore. Don't contact me." Kyle. "Dude, what? What happened?" Me. "You know exactly what happened." Kyle. Bro, I'm confused. Did she say something? I blocked him too. Then I blocked them both on every platform. Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Discord, even Venmo. Scorched earth. No explanations, no arguments, no closure for them. People think closure is something you owe others. You don't. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is disappear without a trace. The first week was hell. My phone felt like a dead weight. I kept reflexively checking for messages that couldn't come through. Mutual friends reached out. Hey man, what's going on? Kyle says you won't talk to him. Just needed space, I'd reply. Non-committal. Calm. She's really upset. Says you broke up out of nowhere. It wasn't out of nowhere for me. I didn't trash talk them. I didn't explain. I left my baggage at the gym. I joked. Literally punched it out. She laughed. We had a good time. No pressure, no expectations. Just two people enjoying each other's company. What a concept. Month 5, I heard through the grapevine that my ex and Kyle had tried dating. Past tense. It lasted 6 weeks. According to the gossip, she got annoyed that he was too immature and didn't take anything seriously. He apparently got frustrated that she was too demanding and compared him to her ex constantly. Her ex being me, presumably. I wish I could say I didn't smile when I heard this. But I'd be lying. There was a deep satisfaction in knowing that the grass they thought was greener was actually just artificial turf. Pretty from a distance, uncomfortable up close. They blamed each other. She told friends he wasn't as stable as he seemed. He told people she had unrealistic expectations. Neither of them seemed to realize they'd both betrayed someone who actually cared about them for a fantasy that couldn't survive reality. The mutual friend who tried to mediate reached out again. You were right to walk away, man. I didn't get it before, but I do now. I appreciate that, I said. But I didn't do it because I knew it would fail. I did it because I knew I deserved better. Still, you called it. I didn't call anything. I just removed myself from a situation that wasn't serving me. Month 6, my app launched in beta. Small user base, but the feedback was phenomenal. I was making real progress towards something that could actually support me full-time. I'd also reconnected with old friends from high school and early college. People I'd drifted from during my relationship. Turns out, when you're with someone who monopolizes your time and attention, you lose track of other valuable connections. We started a weekly game night. Board games, card games, video games. Just good people having good times. No drama, no hidden agendas. Just fun. Actual fun. Not whatever my ex thought fun was. Month 7, she tried one more time. Not through LinkedIn. She showed up at my apartment. I opened the door to find her standing there, looking smaller than I remembered. Tired. I need to talk to you, she said. No, you don't. I replied, not unkindly. Please. 5 minutes. I considered closing the door, but curiosity won. 5 minutes. Out here. She nodded, wrapping her arms around herself despite the mild weather. I made a terrible mistake. The worst mistake. You were the best thing in my life, and I ruined it. Okay. That's all you have to say. What do you want me to say? That I forgive you? That we can try again? I shook my head. I've moved on. Genuinely moved on. This isn't anger. It's indifference. I don't believe that. We had 3 years together. We did. And then you told me my best friend was more fun than me. And then you spent time with him behind my back. And then you made me feel like I was the problem for having standards. I never meant. It doesn't matter what you meant. It matters what you did. And what you did showed me who you really are. Her eyes welled up. Part of me, a small part, felt bad. But the larger part, the part that had been rebuilt over the past 7 months, knew this was necessary. I've changed, she said desperately. Good. Change for the next person. I'm not your redemption arc. I stepped back and closed the door. Gently, but firmly. Through the door, I heard her sob. I felt nothing. Not satisfaction, not guilt, not sadness. Just nothing. And that's how I knew I'd actually healed. Month 9, Kyle tried to send a long email I almost didn't read. It was full of apologies, explanations, justifications. How he'd been going through a hard time. How she pursued him. How he'd realized too late that he valued our friendship more than any fleeting connection with her. I read the whole thing. Then I wrote back a single sentence. I appreciate you taking the time to write this. I hope you find peace. I didn't hit send for 3 days. When I finally did, I immediately set up a filter to auto-archive anything else from his address. Not blocked, just archived. Out of sight, irrelevant. Month 12, exactly 1 year after that dinner where everything changed, I sat in my upgraded apartment, moved to a better place 6 months prior, and took stock. My app had 2,000 active users. I'd quit my full-time job to work on it completely. Risky, but calculated. I had runway and real potential. I was in the best shape of my life. Not just physically, but mentally. Therapy had helped me understand why I'd accepted breadcrumbs for so long. Why I'd ignored red flags. Why I'd valued keeping the peace over keeping my dignity. I'd dated a few people. Nothing stuck, but I wasn't forcing it. I was learning what I actually wanted versus what I thought I should want. The friend group I'd rebuilt was solid. Real people who showed up, who communicated, who didn't play games. And my ex and former best friend? They existed somewhere in the world, dealing with the consequences of their choices. Without me, the best revenge really is living well. But it's not revenge, that's the wrong word. It's justice. Personal justice. The universe doesn't always balance the scales, so sometimes you have to step off the scale entirely and build your own. People ask me sometimes if I'm bitter, if I hate them. The answer is no. Hate requires energy, attention, emotional investment. I have none of that to spare for people who showed me exactly who they were. Do I think about them? Occasionally. In the way you might think about a scar, recognizing it's there, understanding how you got it, but not dwelling on the pain that caused it. Would I take them back if they somehow proved they'd changed? Also no. Not because they can't change, but because I have. The person I am now wouldn't choose them even at their best. I've simply outgrown who I was when I needed them. Month 18, I'm writing this from a co-working space in a different city. My app got acquired by a larger company. Not life-changing money, but enough to give me options. Enough to prove that betting on myself was the right move. I'm dating someone new. Someone who thinks I'm fascinating, who asks about my day, who introduces me to her friends with genuine pride. Someone who would never compare me to anyone else because she chose me deliberately. And yesterday, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. This is Kyle. I know you don't want to hear from me, but I saw your app got acquired. I'm really proud of you, man. You deserve it. I'm sorry for everything. I hope you're happy. I read it twice. Felt a small twinge of something. Not quite nostalgia, maybe acknowledgement. That we were friends once. That he meant something to me once. I didn't respond, but I also didn't delete it. I just let it exist, like a message in a bottle that washed up on a shore I don't live near anymore. Here's what I learned through all of this. People will show you who they are. Your job isn't to fix them, save them, or suffer through hoping they'll change. Your job is to believe them the first time and act accordingly. When my ex said my best friend was more fun, she was telling me she'd already checked out. She was asking for permission to leave, but wanted me to be the bad guy who ended things. I gave her what she wanted, freedom from me. And I took what I needed, freedom from them both. The smile I had when I heard they'd failed, it wasn't because I wanted them to suffer. It was because their failure validated my decision to leave. It confirmed that my instincts were right, that I wasn't overreacting or being too sensitive or throwing away something precious. I was walking away from something toxic, and I had the courage to do it before it poisoned me completely. Now, at 26, I look back at 24-year-old me with compassion. He was doing his best with what he knew. He loved hard, trusted easily, and believed people meant what they said. The version of me that exists now still loves hard, but strategically, still trusts, but verifies, still believes people, but watches their actions more than their words. I didn't become cynical. I became wise. There's a difference. And somewhere out there, Maybe my ex learned that more fun isn't the same as better partner. Maybe Kyle learned that your friend's girlfriend is off limits, even if, especially if, there's chemistry. Or maybe they didn't learn anything. Maybe they're making the same mistakes with different people. Either way, it's not my concern anymore. They're characters in a story I finished writing, and I'm already deep into the next chapter. The one where I'm the protagonist, not the supporting character in someone else's drama. The one where I choose myself first. The one where I smile because I'm genuinely happy, not because someone else failed. That's the upgrade that matters most.